From family events to volunteer opportunities to community happenings, there is a lot going on in your community. Learn about all the possibilities and opportunities on this episode of Community Hotline.
Welcome to Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel. We're here at MetroEast Community Media in Gresham, Oregon. And with me tonight, my first guests are from Optimist International of Gresham. I have with me June Jacobs, who is the president of the Optimist, and Sue O'Halloran, who is the chair of the event that we're going to talk about tonight, which is your annual wine tasting auction called El Bistro 2012.
Right.
And we'll talk about that a little bit more, Sue. But June, if we could start out, I'd love to hear a little bit about the Optimist, why this organization was founded, maybe a little history on how long it's been around, and what it is you do.
It's been around for quite a number of years. Optimist International is an organization of business and professional women who work to improve the lives of women and children internationally and locally. And there's probably about 95,000 women in Optimist. In 120 countries and territories.
Wow, very worthy mission, I would say.
Locally, we work to, as I said, improve the lives of women and children. Optimist means best for women. And that's what we are working to do, to provide time and financial aid to help women who are overcoming obstacles, whether it's domestic violence or human trafficking. Overcome these obstacles to be able to be the sole support of their family and be successful at it, and to improve their lives through education and training, and achieve their dreams and their goals.
So how do you do this, June? Do you work with other specific organizations and partner with them, or do you do this on a one-on-one basis with individuals? How does that work?
Well, our organization, Optimist International of Gresham, has one main fundraiser in the year, which Sue will talk about in a little bit. And then we also do a few other things, like we sell flowers, poinsettias before Christmas, and spring flowers, and we have some other minor fundraisers. And through these fundraisers, we provide Women's Opportunity Awards to women, for instance, like in the Transitions and Transiciones program at Mount Hood Community College, or who are attending Warner Pacific, but who have either been in shelters or are currently in shelters. They have children to support, and they are the sole support of their families. And so we want to provide money to help them to fulfill these dreams of their education or training.
So they're kind of like scholarships, or...
They are, but they don't have to solely use them for the tuition. However, we'll help them with their families to achieve their goal.
Right,
but we also give scholarships to teenagers in this area. We just recently gave 3, one to a Gresham Barlow student, to a Gresham High School student, and two Barlow students who are already out in the community volunteering and doing amazing things. I mean, it's unbelievable some of the things they're doing, you know. So we're working to do those kind of things, and the scholarships that we just gave out and the awards were $8,500 this year to help these women and the girls. And then the money that we raise at the auction will also go to fund community grants for nonprofits. That we'll talk a little bit more specifically later about the ones we're doing, but there are a lot of nonprofits throughout East County that we have supported through the years. We also work with the shelters, provide as much help as we can. We partner with Snowcap to help them on their auctions sometimes. We've done a lot with Salvation Army through the years.
Amazing nonprofits in this area that do a tremendous amount of work, and the need is so great right now.
It is.
And I like it that you have that special focus on women. Women and children, did you say, or women and young women?
Internationally, the mission is women and girls, but we in SIG, which we call Sir Optimist International in Gresham,
yes,
have expanded
it is much easier, isn't it?
We have expanded it to children, so women and children, because we feel, you know, if a woman has children and she's working to support them, we just don't want to limit it to girls.
It's a package deal.
Yeah.
Right.
Our scholarships go to the teenage girls for the work that they're doing and the volunteer work, but when we're giving out, you know, and doing providing time and financial aid and everything, it's for children too.
So explain to me how the scholarships you give to the teenagers, you say it's for the work that they're doing. So they are awarded these scholarships based on their community volunteerism and community service? Okay.
That's the emphasis. So we like to see that they're a dedicated student, but it's not really grade related. It's really what they have given to their community.
I like to see that being recognized. That's a great thing. I think it's really important, and I see that more and more doing this job, how important it is to raise children to understand that volunteering and giving back to the community is so important.
And so some of the other things just in the community that we've done are really collecting all kinds of toiletries and things that women who are in shelters might need. And so that's kind of an ongoing effort that we do, work with Dress for Success, helping women having the right kind of appearance to go out for job interviews. And then we work with an organization called SAVE, which is Stop Violent, Abusive Environments. And that we cooperate with other Sir Optimist groups in the area. And that also helps to support some of the wider shelters that are in the area. So not only are we right here locally, but really reaching out to make sure that women throughout our region are having the assistance that they need.
That's
right, throughout the whole region. And we right now are helping prepare Mother's Day bags for SAVE, for the shelters.
Oh, that's
and we just finished doing birthday bags for the children, so all the children who are in shelters, and this is regionally, we all get together and provide all these things.
So who can be a Sir Optimist? If somebody were out here listening, and you know, what does it take to become a Sir Optimist?
I think an interest actually in doing service for women and for children, and to be involved with your community, and actually you also get to know other interesting women in your own community. But any woman who owns a business or is in some kind of a management position, even if it's a sole proprietor business, we have open doors for all of them, and we always invite them to come and have lunch with us.
Yes.
We meet on every Thursday at noon at the Elks Club there on Division and Kane in Gresham. And so it's an open invitation.
So anybody can
for
come
any
and check
woman
it out.
Anybody can come, and
when
when they come to visit, we will provide their lunch the first time.
Very nice.
And we have about 10 new members this past year. So there's a lot of interest, and they're younger women. So it's
good.
It's a wide age group.
Keep it going.
It has to be sustainable.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. So about how many members do you have in Gresham?
It's about 42 in our organization.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
And we usually have 35 to 40 at our luncheons.
It's a very active group, isn't it?
It is.
One of our highlights of the year is our awards luncheon, where we give the scholarships and the awards to women and children, and that was last week. And we had over 50 people in the room at the Elks Club, and it's just so heartwarming because these people are introduced and they tell a little bit about their stories, and we present the checks to them.
Nice.
And it's just
that's
very,
a great event.
very heartwarming
Where do you
event.
have that?
That's at the Elks Club.
That's at the Elks Club. Great.
You know, it's that affirmation that comes to women from other women that they look at as perhaps successful or have achieved some of their dream, and it's that affirmation besides the dollars, which is so meaningful for the women. And
we've had
and we've had them come back and tell us really great stories of their success. So
it makes it worth it, doesn't it?
It does make it worth it.
So tell me, Sue, about the auction, wine tasting, the El Bistro 2012 that you have coming up. That sounds like fun.
It is fun. So we're really inviting everyone who lives anywhere within this whole Gresham greater area to come join us. It is on April 27th, and it starts at 5:30 in the evening. So we have wine tasting, and the wine tastings come with your ticket. Oh. So no extra cost for the wine tasting. And then as well, we have bistro food. So if you're tasting wines from Italy, there'll be some bistro food that's related to Italy, or if you're tasting wines from Argentina, Chile, then might be something that's appropriate to those
Wonderful.
wines. So that starts the evening off. It is fun. And then we have a couple of fun games that, you know, raise a little bit of extra money with cards and heads and tails.
I think you provided some pictures of some of them, so maybe we can take a look at some of them from last year's event.
Yes,
right?
These are from last year. Give a flavor of what's happening for the evening. And then, of course, we have some wonderful...
There's a picture there.
There we are. This was the Italian wine tasting table. A couple of our members showing off the wine that's there. So you can see each one of the tables has a variety of about 5 wines that they can taste. So we have 4 different stations around the room, and you can tell by the smiles that it's fun.
They've tasted it and they like.
They've tasted it. It's
anybody there, if they like the wine, they can always buy a full glass.
Okay. So you have the wine tasting, you can.
And then you can have a glass of wine with your dinner. This is some of the bistro food that's by each one of the Always Perfect Catering does our food. So she does a great job for us each year. And then here's some of the items that we had for the oral auction.
And do you have a silent and an oral, or is it all?
We have both.
Okay.
We have plenty of opportunities for you to find just the right gift for yourself, for your home, for your family. So this is some of our oral auctions. This is one of our other tables. This looks like, this one was probably from Spain. And so we, each year we try to have different kinds of wines. So it becomes a real opportunity to taste wine and learn a little bit more. So that's
from all over the world.
From all over the world. And then you can buy them as well. So I mentioned to you about the card game. So here's, this is actually City Councilor Lori Stegman with her costume on.
Yeah, she looks like
She's out
playing
there,
cards.
yes, playing cards. And then a couple of our guests over there to the left of her. But you can see the room has great ambiance.
This is at Club Paisano,
It's at Club Paisano, and has those wonderful lights across the ceiling and the wood that makes it feel so cozy.
Warm wood, yes.
That warm
have
feeling.
That beautiful fireplace when you first walk in. That's it's a fun. It got a lot of ambiance.
It does, and it was perfect for our event.
Good.
So this year, besides the silent, of course, we have the oral auction, a couple of game things, and mystery wine pool. So there's a lot of opportunities to spread a little bit of dollars around. But we have some great organizations besides our scholarships that the money is dedicated to this year. So maybe, June, you can give an idea of some of what those organizations are doing that we're going to support.
We solicit applications from the different nonprofits starting in the fall, and they submit applications and requests for help in the form of a grant from Sir Optimist. And we received so many worthwhile applications this year.
I mean, it's really hard to choose.
It was very difficult this year, and so we ended up, we're supporting 4.
Wow. And
they're really worthwhile. They're ones we have worked with before. One of them is the Salvation Army, specifically though for their summer project.
They have a great summer
They've just
program.
opened it up to teens recently. They have a great after-school program for youth, but they are working to make a really good summer program for all of them. And so we're going to put some money towards that. Another one is my father's house, who also is trying to get a summer program going because, and this will help because they need to have a director and somebody who can pull this program together. So many women in the shelters with their children either have a job or they're out looking for a job. and there's no one to watch the children. And so my father's house is trying to put together a summer program, and we're going to help with that. And then Snowcap is almost entirely out of baby food and formula, infant formula. So we're going to help them restock their supplies so they have some of those to give out. And then the fourth one is Mount Hood Legacy Foundation to help provide money for mammograms for underserved women in East County.
That's great.
Because there's so many women who do not have the funds to get a mammogram, and it's a new program and project that the foundation is working on, and we want to help them a little bit with that as they get it started.
That's very worthy causes.
They are.
I'm glad to see that.
They are.
That's
and
good.
the money we raise at the auction will go for those and for the scholarships.
Wonderful. And we can't say prices on community access television, but tell us, if people are interested in getting tickets, what do they need to do?
They need to go to, well, they can go to our website, which is www.sigresham.org.
Okay.
And on there, we are now linked up to PayPal. They can fill out a registration form, and all the information about El Bistro would be on there, including who our sponsors are this year and what are some of the things that are going to happen, the timing, and
all the details.
All the details.
And it also, at the bottom of our homepage, has an email address for SIG and a phone number and a P.O. box if anybody wants to try and communicate that way too.
But we could give a phone number if that's helpful.
Sure.
For those who may not want to take the time to go online. So they can call 503-780-4814. That's actually my cell phone. And I hope I can answer any questions someone might have.
Very generous of you. But your
Glad
cell phone
to get
number out
them
there.
an invitation direct or help them to learn more about what we're doing. But particularly, we're really looking forward to a great evening. This year we're using a professional auctioneer who actually has a lot of roots in our area here, David Douglas High School graduates. So we think that will add to the evening. So got some wonderful things that people can make choices of.
Wow. Well, we're almost out of time. This has gone really, really fast, and I'm amazed. Just tell me real quick, what are a couple of the things that will be auctioned off? Do you know some of the things?
Well, we have actually an interesting, if they'd like, you can have a choice between a fishing trip on the Deschutes River, or if you're not a fisherman, you can have your choice then of going on a rafting excursion on this Deschutes River.
That's what I want
So-
to do. Ooh, fun.
That sounds like fun, doesn't it?
That's
great.
fun. Of course, we've got some beach trips,
Wonderful.
some wine tour, and
I like
you know,
that too.
of course,
Okay, that sounds great.
Yes.
Well, thank you, June and Sue, very much for being on here
Thank
tonight,
you.
telling us about the El Bistro 2012. Sounds like it's going to be a great event.
It will be a great event.
Great,
And
thank
it's for a
you.
good cause.
Yes, yes, you're welcome. Thanks for watching this segment of Community Hotline. Don't forget, if you want to find out more about El Bistro 2012 or just about Sir Optimist International of Gresham in general, you can go to their website, and then the address should be on your screen. And don't go away. We'll be right back with Loaves and Fishes.
Thank you.
A place to grow,
To learn.
To be happy.
To interact.
To play.
To observe.
To live. Parks enhance the health and quality of life in our communities. Support your local parks. People for Parks, East County.
The League of Women Voters makes history.
Our country would not be the same without their dedication.
Formed by women who organized to win women the right to vote.
It is now a co-ed organization.
Studying, informing, and acting.
Nonpartisan.
Grassroots.
Influential.
Taking political stands on many issues.
The League of Women Voters encourages all citizens to be informed and active in government. Join the League of Women Voters of East Multnomah County in making history today.
Volunteers are the cornerstone of local communities, and they enjoy the satisfaction that comes from being part of something larger than themselves. Multnomah County invites citizens to participate in projects that benefit the greater good of our residents.
No matter where your interests lay, there is a volunteer opportunity for you. From helping families through hard times, to working on a citizen advisory board, to making your neighborhood the place you want to live. The opportunities are endless.
Through offering your time and talents, you can help provide programs and services that benefit all of us. You have the potential to make Multnomah County a better place to work, play, and live.
Volunteering builds skills, provides insight into professions, and engages people in important actions. It shapes both you and your community. Plus, volunteering is fun.
To get involved, contact the Office of Citizen Involvement. Go to citizenweb.org. Shape your community. Volunteer.
Hi, I'm Luke Perry. You're watching MetroEast. Over 25 years of great community media.
Alone, our reach is limited. No matter how great our intentions, on our own, we can only stretch so far. But at Rotary, we believe the right group of people working together can make our communities, our world, a better place. Rotary, humanity in motion.
¿Están listos?
Free GED classes.
Are you ready? Clases gratis de inglés.
Yo estoy lista.
Transportation for free.
I'm ready.
Clases gratis de computación. ¿Qué listos?
We're ready.
Come to Listos. If we can do it, you can do it.
What am I supposed to do with all these corks?
Turn them into a cork board.
What about all these floppy disks?
How about a fantastic journal?
I wouldn't learn how to make cool things like that.
Well, come on down to Scrap. Scrap has monthly workshops where you too can learn how to make great things. We provide everything you need. For more information, call 503-294-0769 or go to www.scrapaction.org. Scrap. Create more, consume less.
Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel. We're here at MetroEast Community Media in Gresham, Oregon. And with me today, we're going to be speaking with Loaves and Fishes. With me is Julie Piper Finley, who is the Director of Marketing and Communications for Loaves and Fishes. Nice to have you here, Julie.
Thank you, Monica.
Thanks for being here. Now, Loaves and Fishes is a big organization. And you were telling me before that it covers, what is the area?
Loaves and Fishes Centers is the senior nutrition program for Multnomah and Washington counties in Oregon and Clark County in Washington State. And we do one thing and one thing only, we feed seniors. We have two programs. We have the centers. We have 36 dining rooms within the metropolitan area where seniors can come in for lunch. And if you can't drive and you're homebound, you can't cook for yourself, we will bring you Meals on Wheels. And the way the system works is the only qualification is you have to be 60 years or older. That's it. It's not an income-based program. So you might be a millionaire and live in a beautiful home, but you can't drive. You might have broken a hip. You live by yourself. So how are you going to feed yourself? So all you need to do is call up Loaves and Fishes centers, and we'll bring you a hot meal.
Wow.
We deliver 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, every year.
So you just have the weekends off and...
Right, we do feed about 300 people on the weekends as well, and these are people who are very frail. They have no other source of food, they have no one to help them at all. So if we didn't bring them a meal on the weekend, they'd have nothing between Friday and Monday.
Now, how long has Loaves and Fishes been around?
We were founded in 1970, and even though we have a rather biblical sounding name, it's not a faith-based organization. It was formed by a public health nurse and a social worker and someone from Catholic Charities. And they saw there were people in their neighborhood who weren't eating. They weren't getting out for food. So they brought 14 Meals on Wheels on paper plates wrapped in foil and delivered them to the people in their neighborhood. That was in 1970.
That's great.
Today,
and where was that?
It was in Southeast Portland.
Okay.
And today we feed 5,000 people every day.
My goodness, that's huge.
It's grown quite a bit.
That's huge growth. So the organization then obviously has grown like crazy, but you said people only have to be 60 years of age, and that's it. It's not income-based, it's not ability to take care of themselves, or it's not because they're disabled or anything like that. So all they have to do is call.
That's for Meals on Wheels. So for Meals on Wheels, you have to be homebound and unable to cook for yourself and age 60 or older. But for our 36 dining rooms in the metropolitan area, you just need to be 60. Every center is a little bit different. We have one in Gresham. It's called the Ambleside Center. That's actually not too far from your building here.
It's at the senior center, right?
Right. It's at the
down the street.
Right at the county building.
Right.
We have a new center in Rockwood, in the new Rockwood building on Burnside, which is a beautiful center.
Part of the Human Solutions big.
Right. It's in the Human Solutions building. Right. We have one near Multu 5. We have them in Vancouver. We have them everywhere. Every center has a different personality. Some have ethnic food. We have a center in Vancouver that has Russian food once a week. We have
big Russian community there.
Yes. We have centers that have Chinese food made in woks every day. We have centers that have Hispanic food. We have centers that have soul food. So every center has its own personality and a little bit different food.
That's great. So every day, what is it? Lunch?
It's lunch.
It's lunch every day. A noon appointment at.
You can come in anytime between about 11:30 and 1, and lunch is available.
Just show up.
Yes.
They don't have to make appointments or.
No appointment necessary.
They don't have to make reservations for lunch.
No reservations either.
So what do you do with, as Director of Marketing and Communications, you just get the word out about what's going on?
Right. I produce all of the printed materials that we have, the newsletters, the annual reports. I write speeches. I maintain the website. I deal with all the media.
Come on television shows.
Come on television shows and radio shows. Right. My job is to let everyone know that meals are available for seniors.
So what to you is the most rewarding thing about working at Loaves and Fishes?
It's working with the seniors themselves. They are the most wonderful people and have such fabulous life experience. These are people who have lived through the Depression, through World War II, through the Vietnam War. They have seen it and done it all, and they're
history.
Yes, and they're just lovely people.
Can you give me examples? Have you had some personal interaction with a lot of the? I'm sure you have with a lot of people.
Yes, I deliver Meals on Wheels myself and have for many years. And what's interesting about a lot of these seniors is they so want to maintain their independence. And sometimes it's that hot meal that is what allows them to stay in their own home. I delivered meals for many years to a lady who couldn't see. For the most part, she was nearly blind. And about once a month when I delivered her meal, she'd ask me to read the numbers on her prescription bottle and write them in really big letters and numbers. And then she wanted me to stand by her while she phoned in her prescription. Because for her, that was her level of independence. If she could still phone in that prescription, she could live independently on her own.
I love it. And you're able to help her.
Yes.
So tell me, a lot of the Meals on Wheels drivers, they do more than just deliver meals, don't they?
It's very true. They help with prescriptions. Sometimes they will do simple things like take out the trash or change a light bulb. But some of our volunteers are very dedicated. They mow lawns.
Oh, wow.
They sometimes will pick up extra groceries for their seniors. There's one gentleman, in fact, I just talked to last week who's in here in the Gresham area, and he's very frail and lives by himself. And he has a Meals on Wheels driver who always brings him strawberries from the Gresham Farmers Market.
I love it. That's great. I bet the regular drivers develop a real rapport and get a real relationship going with some of their regulars, don't they?
You do, because most people will deliver a Meals on Wheels route once a week. So say you deliver every Tuesday from the Gresham Center, you'll be delivering to those same people every single week, and you do get very attached to them. The sad part is we are dealing with an elderly population, and sometimes people on the route go into assisted living, or they might move away and move in with their adult children in another state, or sometimes they pass away, and that's the hard part.
Yeah, that would be the hard part. It definitely would, but I think it would be very rewarding.
It is.
And so the people that work at the Loaves and Fishes providing the meals, are these volunteers or
We
are these staff?
have just over 100 employees. We have a large central kitchen in Multnomah Village. There's about 25 employees there. That's where all the food starts. We have an administrative staff, and then each of our 36 locations has 2 employees. But the vast majority of our workforce are volunteers. We use 9,500 volunteers every year.
Wow.
That's about 500 a day.
That's a lot of volunteers.
Right.
So, do you always have a need for volunteers?
Always.
Do you know what the biggest need is?
It's always for Meals on Wheels drivers. Because we deliver our meals in the middle of the day during the noon hour, it's a challenge for working people. So what we suggest to people is they do an adopt a route. So say you work for Wells Fargo Bank in Gresham, say, and you'd like to deliver meals, but it's kind of a hardship for you to take an hour once a week because of meetings and such. What we suggest is that you adopt a particular route at the center, and you and your coworkers share that responsibility. So you'll deliver this Tuesday, the person in the cube next to you would deliver the next Tuesday, and so on.
I like that.
So someone from the bank would deliver every single week, but you personally are only impacted maybe once every 6 or 8 weeks.
Oh, that's great. That's a great solution.
It is.
I bet you have all sorts of good solutions.
We have many corporate teams that do that.
I bet you do. So you also have events that go on, right?
We do. We have 2 really large events. We have one in the fall called Donate Dinner, and that's in conjunction with a number of independent grocers. New Seasons Market started for us about 10 years ago. And when you go shopping for your Thanksgiving food, the 5 days before Thanksgiving, you can donate dinner to a senior when you check out. Just add the cost of a meal onto your check. And we have 28 or 29 grocers, 1,500 volunteers over a 5-day period that do that for us. But then our other large event is coming up this spring. We have a spring luncheon in both Clark County, which is on April 12th, and in Portland at the Convention Center on May 3rd. This is where corporate business people come together for 1 hour to learn about Loaves and Fishes centers, about how we serve seniors, and then they make a donation. So in the Clark County, we have about 350 Vancouver and Clark County business and philanthropists, and in Portland it's about 1,000 people. We get together for just an hour.
Wow, that's amazing. I bet at that type of event you also convert a lot of people into volunteering.
We do. We usually have a keynote speaker who talks about their experiences with Loaves and Fishes. Last year it was Dave Dahl of Dave's Killer Bread.
Yes.
Dave has delivered meals for us. He donates about 1,000 loaves of bread to us every week. And so he talked very movingly about his experiences as a Meals on Wheels driver. And then we always have a video where we have cute little seniors and who talk about how much they like our food and their drivers. And people, they open up their checkbooks and write us checks, and we get a lot of people that volunteer to deliver.
You get the kids, the animals, or the seniors. Those are all tug at the heartstrings.
So true, so true.
Those are all the ones that are the most fun to deal with. So tell me, the spring luncheon in Clark County and the spring luncheon in Portland, if people are interested in going to that, is it just for businesses to attend?
No, it's really anyone who's interested. It just primarily draws people because it's a good thing to do on a weekday for your lunch hour.
There you go.
It's a non-ticketed event, so we're not charging anyone to attend the event, but we are going to make a donation appeal, right? And so it's very easy. If you want to register to attend, you can go to our website, which is feedseniors.org,
That's
or
easy.
call our main switchboard at 503 736-6325, and we'll get you signed up.
So you will be feeding people at this luncheon, I
Yes,
assume.
they actually do receive lunch at the luncheon.
Heck of a deal. Well, they get the same thing the Meals on Wheels seniors get?
You know, they don't. We've talked about doing something like that. It's funny that you should say that sometime when we get those 1,000 business people in the room, that we should get them the hot pack and the cold pack and the little carton of Alpenrose milk, just like we give for our seniors.
Who makes the decisions on what is served, and what about people that have special dietary restrictions and all that kind of stuff?
Well, we have a registered dietitian that helps us plan our menus, as well as a food service director, and they plan the menus about 6 weeks out. And we have a main entree that is created at our central kitchen.
And are we talking Meals on Wheels here?
We're talking
about
all
everything?
the meals.
Okay.
So the 36 centers and the Meals on Wheels.
Okay.
So there's one basic meal that's developed for everyone. And then each of the centers also has second and sometimes third entrees that they cook on location. That's where the ethnic meals come in, the Mexican food, the Chinese food, the Russian food. We also have either salad bars or entree salads at each of our locations. If you have a specialized diet, such as you need low sodium, low cholesterol, diabetic diet, that's all covered by our DASH diet, which stands for diet, something about hypertension. You know, those
Yes,
letters
yes.
stand for something, but it covers all of those specialized diets. We can also do a soft diet. We are somewhat limited if you need a therapeutic diet, such as a liquid diet, something like that. We really aren't in a position to do that.
What about vegetarian?
We have not had an official vegetable-based diet as an option, I'd say. We can accommodate usually vegetable-based diets at our 36 dining locations. For Meals on Wheels, it's a little bit more challenging. But that's the next thing on our plate, you might say, for developing is a vegetable-based diet, especially with the younger seniors, people who are just now turning 60. They have a far more developed palate than someone who's 85 or 90. They've traveled more, they've had more food choices. They tend to request a vegetable-based diet. So we're looking at ways where we can have enough protein within, especially a Meals on Wheels diet, to meet our federal requirements and still have a vegetable-based diet.
That's interesting. It's interesting to see the changes, I imagine, in the food from back when it first started to now.
Hugely. You know, it used to be that our diet was, you know, back in 1970, we had meatloaf, we had, you know, very meat and potato-based diet. Now it's far more fresh, it's far more healthy. As I mentioned, we have either an entree salad or a salad bar available at all of our centers for the weekdays. Some of our entrees include wraps, where we'll have, like, you know, the tortillas with
those are good.
chicken and
very
vegetables.
popular, I'm sure.
Yes, so we have a number of entrees that are a little bit more hip than you would think would be served for a senior nutrition program.
Well, people are a lot more savvy about what's good for them, and
That's very true.
You know, eating locally and sustainable, and getting more produce, and learning how to cook it better.
It's true. One thing that we did last year is we moved to fresh vegetable, if at all possible. It's a little bit more challenging in the winter, but in the summer, because we do have access to local farmers and local produce, if it says carrots on the menu, it's carrots that we've received from a farm. If it says beets, they're fresh beets. If it says berries, it means we've gotten them just that day or the day before from the farmer. They're not frozen.
But don't you miss those anemic canned peas?
No.
Those are so gross. You mentioned that Dave's Killer Bread donates bread. Do you have other organizations that donate food?
We do somewhat. Because we have such a huge volume, 5,000 meals a day, we're not an organization that depends on donations of food unless it's in mass quantities. Because we do have some federal requirements, and what we include in our meal has a certain amount of protein, certain number of servings of fruits and vegetables and such. And because we have to meet that menu profile and plan so many weeks out, we are a large purchaser of food. That being said, we have a number of vendors who give us wonderful deals. For example, I mentioned Alpenrose Milk. They have been our sole milk provider for 42 years.
Wow.
We have the big food trucks and the produce trucks and the meat trucks pull up to our loading dock just like the restaurants do.
Wow.
But if someone has 5,000 portions of something and wishes to donate it, we will
Bring
certainly
it on,
take
Bring it on.
Yes.
One last thing I wanted to ask you about. You mentioned that you have federal guidelines, but this isn't a federal program, is it? How does
yes
that
and
work?
no. We receive about 30% of our funding from the federal government through the Older Americans Act. It's money that's been designated specifically for feeding seniors. That money is funneled to every county in the United States, and the county is responsible for figuring out how to feed the seniors in their area. What Multnomah and Washington and Clark County have done is they basically hired us to feed seniors. So they give us that little bit of money that they have, and we supplement it with fundraising. But because we do get that bit of federal funding, we have to meet federal guidelines for the diet.
Oh, well, that's a good choice on their part, I think.
It is, I think.
I think that's a very good choice. Is there anything else that we should know about Meals on Wheels or the regular meal plan for Loaves and Fishes at the 36 locations? Or
Well, as I mentioned, because we just have 30% of our funding from the federal government, we do fundraise the rest. And so we are always looking for donations, and it's very easy to do. You can donate online at feedseniors.org. You can stop in at any one of our 36 neighborhood locations and make a donation or volunteer. Everyone's welcome.
Great. I think that pretty much takes care of it. Thanks very much, Julie. So if people are interested, they can go to your website, feedseniors.org.
Yes.
They can get information there, I assume, also on the events coming up, the luncheons.
Yes, you can look at our menu. You can find out information about all of our centers, what's going on, read press releases, see videos. It's a fun website.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thanks very much for watching this evening's show of Community Hotline. Don't forget to stay tuned. Next week, we'll be doing the Pulse version, which means we'll be talking about MetroEast and KZME and what's going on here in our location in Gresham. In the meantime, be sure to watch for that spring luncheon that's going to be going on in Clark County and in Portland. If you want more information, go to feedseniors.org. I'm Monica Weitzel. This is Community Hotline. Thanks for joining us.